Thank you for watching iTablet. Be sure to like this video, subscribe, and comment #iTablet to enter the iPad mini giveaway when the channel reaches 2,000 subscribers. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video I want to talk about whether or not the iPad is still worth it in 2024. It's March 26th at the moment, and apparently Apple was supposed to release new iPads today, but of course they didn't. The next iPad looks really exciting because the iPad Pro will get a much larger display and also OLED display and a new Magic Keyboard, and it looks as though the iPad Air will also get a redesign, and I'm not sure if anything's happening to the iPad mini. The question in 2024 is actually, why do you even need an iPad? If you go to Apple's website and you compare the various models, there are just so many models and it's so hard to decide on which one to buy because, you know, the Pro is really good, but again, it's running iPadOS, and iPadOS is just not as good as macOS. The iPad Air is basically just a glorified version of this entry-level iPad. These two iPads are very similar, but this one has some features that are better than the iPad Air, and the iPad Air is kind of in the middle of these two, and it's just very confusing as to why you would even want this one, because it doesn't have enough storage, and the screen is not as good as the iPad Pro. And then you've got the regular iPad over here, which is again just an iPad that you would just buy and throw at your kid and, you know, hope that they keep quiet watching stuff on the iPad. And then the iPad mini is basically one step up from an iPhone Pro Max. And this lineup is obviously incredibly confusing, and it's very, very hard to shop, and it's quite frankly in 2024 it's very hard to recommend an iPad, because what do you actually do with an iPad these days? And also, why would you spend this much money? Like, let's just look at what the iPad Pro costs these days. To get an iPad Pro, the 11-inch model starts at $899, and the 12.9-inch model starts at $1249. And it's rumored that the next version of the iPad with the OLED display will even be a lot more expensive than this, which will make the iPad Pro closer to £2,000 for the larger model of the two. Because the question at the moment is not really which iPad to buy, it's actually why would you want an iPad in the first place? At the moment, the iPad is a really nice toy, and it's something that runs iPadOS, which is an OS which is kind of as good as macOS, but not really. And of course, why would you buy an iPad when you can buy something like this? This is the MacBook Air. It's slightly larger than the largest of the iPad Pros. It's also really nice and thin. It has 2 ports, just like the iPad, if you count the one on the Magic Keyboard. It has MagSafe. It's really thin and light. The display is not as good as the iPad, but again, I mean, when you carry something like this around, something that runs true macOS and a real operating system and works with external displays, and you know, you don't have to use Stage Manager with this, you just have multiple windows and all those things naturally. The question is really like, what is the iPad really even for in 2024 when you have devices this good? My iPad Pro battery life is awful when compared to the M2 MacBook Air, just because this thing just doesn't die. You charge it once, use it the entire day, you forget to charge it the next day, it's still going. And it's just one of those products that's just so incredibly amazing to use, and it's a joy to use just because it's so capable with macOS. Because unfortunately, at this stage in the iPad's life cycle, we are just at the end of what this device could be. And I feel as though people have seen what the iPad is, and now that we have a much better product in the form of the MacBook Air and the new MacBooks, and you've got the M series chip running a real operating system, even something like the iPad Pro, which has an M series chip inside. At the moment, the iPad Pro runs the M2 chip. Even with all that power in a device with a massive screen, with a big battery, a device that's much more capable than the MacBook in theory, because you can use a pencil and the keyboard and you can put it off and you can use it like a tablet. Even all those things that are really, really good and special and unique about the iPad end up being drawbacks on what the iPad could be. And that's all because of the operating system. iPadOS 17 is just not as good as macOS. That's one of those things where you kind of just have to make peace with that. If you want to live an iPad-only life, you have to make peace with the fact that the operating system sucks, that to deal with files sucks, that your battery life will not be as good as an M series. That it's just hard to do things that are very, very easy on a MacBook. Because when you think about it, people always say like, yeah, don't worry about the iPad because the iPad's really just for things like surfing the web and opening an email and browsing, doing light internet stuff. But unfortunately, light internet stuff turns into real work. Like when you have email on a device, people send you attachments. They send you attachments that sometimes you need to open. They send you PDFs that you need to fill in, that you need to sign. And obviously you've got the Apple Pencil, which is a really cool device and it's really cool to draw with. But you know what? Whether or not I've got the Apple Pencil, if I have an iPad or a MacBook, I can just use DocuSign, or I can use some kind of service on the MacBook, and I can draw my signature on the screen using the mouse, and I can just place that in DocuSign. Or I don't even need to really sign my name, because you can just type your name in and then that's enough in a service like DocuSign. And I know that there are a lot of people who use the iPad for creativity and for drawing and all those things, and you know, that's absolutely great. This thing for creativity, for drawing, for doing stuff with the Apple Pencil is just so much better than a MacBook for that task. With the MacBook, it beats the iPad at every turn. And with the M series MacBooks, the iPad is kind of obsolete. So whether or not Apple releases like really mind-blowing hardware in the next few days or even next week, unless they make massive changes to iPadOS at WWDC in June this year, there's absolutely no reason to buy an iPad. I'm still hopeful that things will change, and that's why I have this channel, because I love the iPad, I see the potential of it. I still believe in the iPad, even though I'm kind of down on it these days just because of iPadOS, and I'm so tired of trying to use iPadOS to do real work, to be productive, to use it with an external display with my iPad Pro, and then just getting stuck over and over and over. And you don't get stuck that much on a MacBook. It's just, you just do not. Because with a keyboard, mouse, MacBook, external monitor, you can do basically any kind of job. Obviously, apart from something where you need the Apple Pencil. But if you want to draw, if you want to have fun, if you want to kick back and watch Netflix, if you want a portable screen, something like that, that's what this thing is for at the moment. This thing, unfortunately, whether it's the iPad mini or the iPad Pro, whether it's the nicest hardware that they could possibly think of and they release it in the next few days, unless there's a better operating system running inside this device, there's absolutely no point in buying it. But I'm looking forward to reviewing it when it comes out. I'm looking forward to trying it. I'm looking forward to see how MagSafe is going to work on the iPad Pro, how the Magic Keyboard is going to work, and to see like which direction they are going to push this device. Because whatever hardware comes out in the next few days will tell us a lot about how Apple is thinking about the iPad going forward. Be sure to like this video and subscribe if you want to enter the iPad mini giveaway. And also if you want to enter twice, you can also go to iTablet.store, which is the store that I'm launching for all things iPad related. So whenever I find cool products, you'll find them in here. And if you want to enter the competition, just go here and go to the Enter iPad Mini giveaway and drop your email address, and that's another opportunity for you to enter. So I will draw the winner of the iPad Mini when the channel reaches 2,000 subscribers. So be sure to like this video, subscribe, and comment #iTablet to enter. And if you want another opportunity to enter, go to iTablet.store and hit Enter iPad Mini giveaway. Also, if you're a brand and you want to sponsor the channel, just reach out to me here. Or if you want me to review a product which is iPad related or any other kind of tech product, you can also reach me through here. And if you want to follow me on Threads, you can find the link right here. I'll see you in the next one.